Okay. Hello, everyone. I will share my screen.
Hi, Dr. Renuka. Hello.
Hello.
Hello, Mary. This is Vera from Chicago.
So, hello, everyone. So, just a technical remark, and we will start off soon. Please, to everyone, keep your camera on, and if you wish to switch the microphones off until you take the floor. Also, I would encourage everyone to introduce yourself in the chat function. Please write your country, name, email address, and your research project or business activities to share with our participants here. Also, any additional information is welcome to be shared in the chat. Please bear in mind that this chat will be saved, and the presentation and the recording and the chat will be distributed to everyone in the network. Also, it is a public event, so it is being recorded, and also it is on YouTube. Please be aware of that. And so first of all, I would like to thank for all the in-kind support given by UCEM, the University College of Estate Management, for the support of this Zoom platform, which allows us the smooth dissemination of our seminar series, GSFN Friday Idea Exchange. I also acknowledge the support of PASS TV for offering us a free channel to stream our activities worldwide. And I would like to thank all of them who have joined us today and taking your time to attend this Idea Exchange Network seminar series. So today we have excellent speakers with us, and I will introduce them just after bringing you up to the speed of this network activities and updates. I'm Dr. Renuka Thakur, and I'm the founder of the Global Sustainable Futures Progressive Partnership Network. I'm based in UK, and I'm very grateful to you all, and very pleased to say that you all have joined this network, which has made, and your active participation and your interest and your engagement has strengthened the network, and we are part of a global community working transnationally with the core objectives of leaving no one behind. Let us remind ourselves today about the goal of the month, SDG 14, focused on our blue planet, and the call to contribute to a healthy future. 2 billion people, 1/4 of the humanity, live in conflict-affected areas. Last year, 87 million people were forcibly displaced because of conflict, violence, and human rights violations. And it is estimated that there would be a record of 274 million people in 2022 will need humanitarian assistance. Conflicts have a devastating impact on socio-economic development worldwide. The war in Ukraine has caused skyrocketing food, fuel, and fertilizer prices that spell disaster for developing countries and have also led to senseless loss of life, massive destruction, and unacceptable violance of human rights. So why does Goal 14 matters? We must be implementing this awareness, implementing the projects where we can talk about this, putting some best practices to manage and manage our water, and especially the water in the oceans. And there are these people all around the world which are on the coastal regions who are having this livelihood dependent on the ocean and its ecosystem. And therefore, we need to have some structured programs to regenerate back the ocean ecology. And that's why we must make ourselves contributing to that. Let me also remind our vision, which I have mentioned many times, but today I think many of us and many of new members have joined today. So I would like to speak this again, that through Global Sustainable Futures Progressive Partnership Network, we want to play a leading role in creating an inclusive, collaborative, innovative, and engaging platform for early career researchers and like-targeted stakeholders, including startups and entrepreneurs, supported by experienced senior researchers and business leaders, where everyone can share in their research, innovation, visualization, and enthusiasm in parallel to network success. And the network success lies in achieving our fundamental objective, which is to create a strong research environment, building to a multidisciplinary and multi-sectoral team of endogenous professionals that would be capable of pursuing and utilizing participatory and integrative approaches in solving public and environmental sustainability. I'm very pleased to announce that we have 1,700 coordinators in 133 countries. So I would like to just look at some future opportunities we have here. And if Professor Amar has joined, I would like him to speak about it. But if he has not joined, we will wait until the end of the program and we can see if he joins and he announces this program himself, which is about International Symposium on Regenerative Ecosystem. And so I won't go through this program for now, but I will announce it at the end if he is not joining us. There is another program which I would like to announce, that Global Sustainable Futures has joined with the Climate Savers, who will be hosting a monthly series of meet and talk events, with each event focused on a different field or topic related to climate change. Each month, you will have an opportunity to meet people, organizations, and companies from around the world as you learn about and present collaborative projects, including an overview of the project background, activities, impact, needs, and tangible outputs or outcomes of to the community locally and globally. So I do invite you all to join us at those events, as well as if you wish to take part in it, in speaking as a speaker or as a sponsor or a networking, any sort of activity within that, please get in contact with me or Ian, who is also organizing this event along with me. And there's a link I have put here, which you can click and you can fill up the form. Secondly, I would like to announce this, that we have a topical collection, which is saying the role of education in the implementation of the UN Development Goals, how sustainability education influences consumption and production stream systems and contributes to achieving sustainable development goals. This is actually having this underpinning idea that if people are well-versed or are educated in sustainability, then we will be able to contribute to sustainable development goals. And this paper is open. I have not updated the deadline here. We have opened it. We have already received 3 papers, but we are looking for 1 or 2 more. And the deadline is up to 31st of July. And so if anyone is interested, they can contact me. I'm always looking for some social volunteers to help me out with some social events and these programs. I'm especially looking for event champion, graphic champion, meeting champion, website champion, social media champions, blog champions, and Slack champions. So like all our social channels need some help. And so if you can get in touch with me, it will be great. So now I have our special speaker today, Mary Kuhne, President and CEO of Frontrunners Development, a global business development agency focused on SDGs in the US. Kuhne's company operates a global impact-focused media platform, successfully hosting a rich archive of over 200 videos and roughly 500 written interviews. The world problem solvers interviewees include grassroots CSO leaders, prominent NGO leaders, government and organizational level diplomats, founders, and innovators in every space surrounding the UN SDGs. Kuhne serves on several global youth development organizations, partnering with several organizations with global following that include diplomatic involvement. Those she has interviewed are a part of her frontrunner community. So welcome, Mary Kuhne. And our second speaker is His Excellency Dr. Osito Enyimaka, and he's the president and founder of Sub-Saharan Open University headquartered in Nigeria. The university serves as an entrepreneurship and career development education hub aiming to graduate a different kind of learners by focusing on individual creativity and developing a sustainability mindset. Enyimaka serves on several global education, youth development, and trade organizations. Mary and Dr. Enyimaka, over the past 4 years, have partnered on a couple of global mentorship programs, and most recently, the development and piloting of the global governance and diplomatic training course situated at the university in partnership with FIGR HR ambassador and an education curriculum consultant in the US. The discussion would primarily lie in showcasing a partnership program with the university on the global governance and diplomacy training course and global sharing and using Kuhne's archive of best practices interviews. So welcome, Mary. Please take the floor now. And I will also invite Osita to join our conversation.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you for this opportunity to just converse. I don't know that it's so much a presentation. I'll have a little chat with everybody about what I think is useful and meaningful here. But what I'd like to do is ask Dr. Enyimaka, there he is. He is traveling, and so we might experience a little bit of patchiness in our conversation with him, but there he is smiling at us. And I'd like to ask him if he would like to chat first about the global governance and diplomacy course that we've done and his viewpoint on partnerships here. So Dr. Enyimaka, if you'd like to step up or sit up, such a try.
Well, yeah.
So.
Yeah, thank you very much, Renuka. Thank you, Mary. I am very honored to be here, and I am proud to be part of this program. Most importantly for me is the fact that we are changing the narrative now. All hands on deck to make things work for the entire world. I am piecing it together from Africa, but the most, the most endearing part of it.
They're getting a little frozen moment.
So you carry on, Mary. Please tell
Yes.
us.
Yeah. If you see him start to
Is that,
speak, there he is.
Yes. So what I'm going to talk about will be very brief because of my traffic. But the issue is that we are ready, willing, and available to partner with Dr. Renuka. And Mary and I are planning. We have a table full of ideas and content to share with the rest of the world. And we are proud that Dr. Renuka has given us the opportunity to do this seamlessly. So I'm going to allow Mary to do a presentation, and maybe I'll be lucky enough to be in an area where the network is better, and then I can add to that. Yes, thank you very much. I am so happy and proud to be here. Thank you. Thank you.
No worries, no worries. Please, Mary, you
Sure.
tell us about the program, what you are coming up, and so on.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, let me carry on with what he was starting to talk about. The Sub-Saharan Open University, I serve on the governing board of. Dr. Annemiek and I have known each other for several years, and as you mentioned, have done a few mentorship and global projects where it involved youth. We serve on a couple of international boards together as well. And the whole aspect of, or the heart and soul of what we do is very much wrapped around the United Nations SDGs, and understanding that if we don't look at the future of our youth as being today and tomorrow, not 10 years from now, then we've lost. And we need to get that mindset of sustainability already implanted in them while they're young. And so he goes at it from a very creative standpoint, a very, very much of an entrepreneurial mindset. And what we also tripped across learning this past year, as we kept coming up with youth who were trying so hard to put their foot on the path to leadership and to governing leadership, we want to make sure we gave them the best base for so doing, and to do it in a very ethical and smart way. And so we got together with the Federation of International Gender and Human Rights Ambassador Ghazala Khan, who has been through all the hoops of ambassadorship and diplomatic trainings. And she put together the content for a training program. It's an 8-module. We're going to have it moved down into like a 4-week program that situates on the Sub-Saharan Open University's platform. It's called the Global Governance and Diplomacy course. And she takes anyone who wants to take it through a process of understanding not only what is diplomacy and what are the mechanics of it, and how to be a good governing, individual leader, but also what opportunities are available through the UN. A lot of people think that you just get tapped by some magic fairy wand to become an ambassador. There's like 7 pathways through the United Nations to ambassadorship. Okay, so it's not like the head guy goes, you're famous, you're a celebrity, you're it. You can, go through one of these pathways to get there. And so I think that that's very important to understand. And then other resources, because a lot of our up and coming young junior parliament, people and our, guys are getting involved now, from stepping over from their charity right into, some politics and that sort of thing. We want them to have those opportunities for gaining more leadership tools. And so there's some resources thrown in that. So we feel like that's such an important thing to do right now, especially in certain areas of the world where corruption and political, power is just wreaking havoc on being able to have good decisions for the mass population. That is something that we would put out there, as we would be interested in entertaining partnerships, not only with Renuka, with you, with the organization here, but if there are other institutions that want to look at joining with us and moving that forward, we're in conversations with several of those, but we would like to open the door to having more conversations. So I hope I did it proper for you, Osita.
Thank you, Mary. It is very interesting. But tell me more about. I don't know if you know more about the specific 7 pathways which you mentioned. Is
I can tell you one.
All right.
Yeah, I can't give it all away, but you can become a consultant. There's a process for becoming a consulting business or nonprofit organization. There's certain criteria, like you'd have to have, whatever country you're in, you'd have to have been a proper legitimate organization. In other words, gone through whatever government pathways to get your certification on that for 3 years. before you would come forward. And the thing of it is there's more information about how you apply for that and how you move forward with that, but that puts you in a very good place for stepping into the next role. So there's that pathway. So I would indicate that, but there's other resources, even if you never went the ambassador, that's just, your leadership toward ambassadorship. But there's other diplomatic pathways as well. I mean, I talk to people like that all the time. I had a conversation with one gentleman the other day who actually took a job at the United Nations and then somehow worked his way into a leadership position where he became sort of a diplomat because of his ability to negotiate and work with diverse leaders all around the world. And you make yourself very valuable, not just that you can speak their language, you don't have to speak their native tongue, but you just need to know how to deal with different cultures and, be able to appreciate, understand, cheerlead, be involved in understanding the value systems of the people that you're working with all around the world. And this gentleman became that. And because he became that, the World Economic Forum came to him and said, you've been doing that really well for the United Nations for a lot of years. We need you because we need you to bridge between the UN and the WEF on a major project we've got going on in health that we want to work on for the masses. And so he became that bridge. And so you never know. And because he became that bridge, he's now a diplomat. So you never know what pathway is going to move you around into the right places. It doesn't have to be the United Nations. It could be other entities as well. There are plenty of other foundations out there that will actually tap you as their ambassador for a regional area that literally allows you to represent that region at conferences, summits, and other, with other organizations. So I would say that and kind of leave it at that. But that segues into what I was going to talk about today.
Yes.
For my part.
Just to remind the participants here that if you have any questions, please put down in the chat or raise the hand so we can stop and have you on the floor. Right. But yes, Mary, please continue about, yes.
Yeah, because I only have, I don't want to take up a lot of time. I've only got a few minutes here. And then if we want to circle back and Ositas has the opportunity to speak and is in a place where he can, that would be great. As a reminder, from my standpoint, I'm a business. What Osita is doing with the Sub-Saharan Open University, he's the chancellor, the founder and chancellor of a university, which is an entity that is, I don't say, in the United States, we say nonprofit. It's a whole different animal. Okay. We do collect fees for, coursework and things like that, but it's, and we do have other projects that we do. And we have a nonprofit associated with the Sub-Saharan Open University, sort of a charitable nonprofit situation or a foundation that's associated with it as well, so that we can do other things. From my standpoint, I'm just like a basic business, a corporate business. And I would call myself a social enterprise because there's not any one thing that I do that is not tied to the greater good, to impact. We wrap our business around the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, particularly number 17, because it's sort of my gift to be able to connect people, the people who have a solution to the people who need the solution. And it really dovetails with almost all the United Nations SDGs. But number 17 is what we focus on, is partnerships, because if you don't get partners to do the great work you're trying to do for the other 16, you're going to have a real hard time achieving them. So nobody does anything all alone. And we always look at everything with an eye towards sustainability, because there's a lot of opportunity out there if you want to just give a few $1,000s or something and quell a problem for the immediate week or two that it will, and feel like you've done a good job, but the problem just returns the next week. And so it's really hard to look away or to try to look for better solutions. So my answer to all that is I found a way to attract toward me the types of people that I think I can do something with to help create solutions around the world. And those people, as you mentioned, they're either diplomats, they're NGO leaders, they're CSO leaders, which the community service organization leaders. So that would be more the grassroots level. They're the, you know, the heads of the ministers and cabinet ministers and the, you know, that sort of thing. They're the founders and innovators of really wonderful solutions that we need to get moved into the countries. And it's everything from smart city and technology oriented stuff to programmatic types of things that would help with mental health and, other types of things, maternal health and things like that. So just to give you a perspective on how I do things now, what I'm proposing here is I have now, with all the interviews that I've done, both written and video interviews, literally I have an interview archive that consists of interviews with all these experts, all these people who are making things happen around the world, okay? And just, I kind of reached out, I think, to people in about 70 different countries, but the viewership we have is over 160 countries. And what we do is, from the standpoint of looking at how this content rolls out, it's curated to the goals. All of it on my site. You can go to SDG goals at the top of my site and pull down, and you've got all the different goals in some form or another, that, whether that be youth, whether that be education, whether that be health, whether that be poverty, whether that be water, circular economy and, climate, all of that. It's all curated. So the interviews I've done, you can tap into one of those links or whatever, and you can come up with all the interviews I've done on that subject so far. So it's ideas, it's innovations, it's best practices, literally research, if you want to call it that.
Exactly.
Yeah, so it's rich content to bolster problem solving, and it's great for institutions like universities, innovation labs, research groups, NGOs, or think tanks, and it's shareable at no cost, right? I mean, you can literally go to my website, pull it all down, and figure out what you need or want to access most. So content's only useful when it can be converted into action. That's the way that I think. If you've got it, you got to be able to do something with it, right? Pass it along. So here's some ideas of what I think that is useful for that type of content. You can develop models off of some of what is being expressed. Not everybody is going to be able to deal with ocean health the way that my people in Haiti that I've interviewed have done it. Not everybody has the right resources, the same resources as, say, places in Australia who have figured out how to pick up the trash, run it through an extruder, and come out with cable for 3D printers. Not everybody can do it that way, okay? But you have models that you can jump off and be inspired and motivated to do, and in so doing might have found a partner or a collaborator through the interviews. So project adoption is another thing that you'll come across in the interviews. Plenty of opportunities to jump into a project that's already in the works. The last question I ask everybody on my interviews, and you know this, Renuka, is who do you need to move you forward with what you want to do? Who do you need to help you expand your impact? And I tell them, be as specific as you can, and they do. They'll tell me. I've had one person tell me, President Obama, when Obama was president, he wanted to meet him. I said, well, I don't know about that. Let's see. A foundation for deeper learning around the SDGs, where you can see them in action. So if you can pull down some of these SDGs that are curated now on my site, they're also starting to get curated on YouTube, because they're all YouTube videos, the ones that I've done of video interviews. And so being able to see what people are doing, because sometimes they'll share pictures with me, because I'll tell them, send me pictures of what you're doing, so that I can get I'm a visual learner. Show me what you're doing, so that you get to see that. It's also a vehicle for collaboration, as I mentioned, which ideally could be a vehicle for grants. So I always tell people, yeah, I have a strong background in nonprofit work. I've been a leader and a manager in nonprofit for a long time. I've started 2 nonprofits in my past as a founder. And the one thing that I've learned in seeking grants for those nonprofits is, if you can collaborate with another organization that has a similar mission and figure out how you can work together, you become way more valuable to that investor, that grant provider, that whatever it is, because they figure it's like hitting 2 birds with 1 stone. They get more bang for their buck. Okay. And it looks really good on your pitch decks and your grant proposals and things like that. So I would say that. So starting point to develop own platform for extending discovery. So there's nothing saying you guys can't do what I'm doing. Literally, it costs you nothing to go on LinkedIn and hunt and peck for the type of people that you want to bring toward you. And if you give people a platform to talk about what they're doing, you will not be able to keep them away. It is amazing how it opens doors, and opens doors to even bigger conversations. You know, I'm at the point now where the people that I have been attracting toward me are sending me other people. And those other people are sometimes equal to or greater in status, I would say, if you're interested in influence, than they were. So I would say that's something to consider, whether it's organizationally with you, Renuka, or anybody else who might be listening. So it's a starting point, and I'm happy to kind of give some information about that down the road. And it's a great way to gather information and inspiration. So here's an example to as a converting content to reality, to action. So imagine participants in an incubator or a university innovation lab in, say, India, accessing my interviews on health tech. They see an interview with an innovator who has a solution for a simple eye scan that can diagnose diabetes, heart disease, and chronic kidney disease, and can be used with the right kind of camera on a mobile phone, okay? The interview includes a health tech investor as a co-host, my co-host, who ends up telling the innovator while we're recording that he'll fund him. And it happened last week, by the way. All right, that Q&A that happened after I introduced the innovator to the investor on camera as we're getting ready to start the interview, and then I introduced the investor who talked a little bit about himself, he took over the interview, and it became like a pitch fest. It became an innovator pitch to the investor. Within an hour after that call, pitch deck was coming forward, and the other conversation was, I want to meet you in person. And they did that this past week. So imagine all of that Q&A that led up to the moment that conversation turned into a business deal. You know, it's all captured in that 45-minute video. And what if the innovator was a university professor in New Zealand and really happy to jump on a video call with any of the students or any of the people in the innovation lab or the university, wherever it may be, and talk about what it took for him to get to the place that he is at, because he is a researcher first, and then a professor, and then an inventor and an innovator. Okay, so imagine how valuable that would be. But more so than that, what if you learned also during that call that he made a partnership with the New Zealand government and got the largest clinical trial pool ever in the world. And ongoing data goes up to the cloud, all, you know, private, protected, you know. So, and imagine now if you had access to one of my economic development interviews with a company that has innovated a smart village solution that includes resident ownership of that village, okay? And that the enterprise allows the ownership to become generational income building, so that you can't sell or transfer your shares of the village. You have to pass it down to your kids, your children. Okay, so that builds that income. So you hear about the model in Alaska where per capita income has grown substantially and steadily over many years. You like the idea that the primary leader is both a diplomat, okay, and an architect who has an extensive and impressive address book of partners and potential investors, okay? Then you see their video on the project that they are starting in Malawi. And then you realize the impact of their solution hits all 17 SDGs. Maybe you decide you want to be an open door for them into a country in need and become a part of their solution. Or maybe you want to explore further so you can share their concept. Either way, it's taking concept and content to a place of action. So when you see interviews like that, you think that's nice publicity. It is so much more than that. So much more than that.
I would agree.
Yeah, so that's just kind of my sort of little proposal or pitch, just to say whoever wants to gain access to that, whoever thinks creatively about how we might partner to get more information out there, I'm happy I'm here. I'm happy to share. I'm part of the community now. So I'm going to leave it at that. And I see Dr. Anamika right there. So I don't know if you'd like to go back to him or open the floor for questions or however you want to.
Sure. I have some questions, but I will first invite Osita if he's already there. And Yes, please.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Osita, you're on mute.
Yes, it's going to take me a little more time. So go ahead with the questions. We are going into a blind spot now, so I might go off a little bit and come back again.
Okay. Okay.
Is that
Not to
okay?
worry.
Okay, fantastic.
I will
Thank
wait
you.
for any questions. If let me check the chat and all that.
Thank you.
Okay. Let me just go through the chat. Okay. All right. Okay. To direct a line. No, I think, okay. Does anyone have a question at all? I don't see in the chat. And if please raise your hand if you have. Okay, never mind. Yes, as you already said, and I totally agree that research is the basic. I mean, research capacity, research skill, because even in your job or my job, I have to do some research to find people to collaborate, or what approach I will be doing, and so on. And I think that is very good. But I also find your background interesting. So please tell us more about you, like in your past, and how you came over here. Because that is interesting story, I think.
Well, actually, I started my working life in the governor's office when I was 18 years old, going on 19. I was very young. I was the youngest member of the governor's staff, and I worked in media. Go figure. I was a young member working with the governor's press secretary and deputy press secretary, and kind of grew up, if you want to say it that way, in working with the Capitol Press Corps and media at that level. Ended up getting a chance to actually go at the national level a couple of times and fly over to, places where the president was going to be. From there, I ended up working in a lot of nonprofits. I mean, I've worked in political campaigns too, so I understand that part of it. You have to do that kind of at some point or another if you're in government. So in and out of those, worked on a senatorial campaign, a lieutenant governor's campaign for a hot second, and ended up in some international programs, and they were meant for cultural exchange or friendship development. So it's really interesting that I migrated to this place. And I tell people who know me well, or that will get on a call with me, that all the interviews that I do, I look at them as little bridges of peace. That they are, I might be the only person in the United States that other person even has ever met. In some cases, not in all cases, because I do hit a lot of people that travel, but I do hit those nooks and crannies of the world where maybe that person has never even met anybody from the United States. And so I'm kind of feel like a representative, if you will. And they're doing the same for me. So if I've never met anybody from Eswatini before, and I know somebody there. And I feel aligned with what a person's heart and spirit is. And so I look at it that way. So from my background, yes, I worked with a program that was through Washington, D.C. called the International Visitors Program, that brought in visiting dignitaries from other countries to meet with counterparts, people who would be their sort of counterparts in the United States. And because I worked in the Research Triangle Park area, we got a lot of people coming through, because we had government, we had Duke University, we had university system, healthcare like you wouldn't believe. We had, it was an international community, and then we had the technology that was there, and pharmaceuticals that were, situated in the tech area there. So, there was that. And then later down the road, I ended up running a chamber of commerce and worked on a lot of, global economic development things for our area. Mainly because we situated right up against the world's largest Marine Corps air station. So, learning how to be a woman in a very male dominated, lots of brass, a lot of, let's just say people who do things by command, not so much by community or, coming together. It's more of, I give the command, why aren't you listening type of thing. So, and I respect that because I'm married into it, but so the military piece is very much still part of where I am around here. Later, I ended up doing 8 years as a director, interim director, and then back and forth, really assistant director and interim director for aging services. So then I came to know the yin and the yang of it. Having developed a couple of youth leadership programs, then I was now dealing with aging issues, senior issues on a larger scale for our whole county. So I learned about the resources and a lot of the skill sets to kind of work through some things there, and also mental health, memory diseases, and things like that. So yeah, I'm a Renaissance gal. I get my tentacles go way far, all over the place.
Yeah, thank you.
I wrote a book about networking because I've had to do networking all my life, and that book is what rolled me into the work that I'm doing now. Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Mary, so much. Very interesting. But here we have one coordinator, like Sean Sullivan, and he joined us late. But I think he's a person to talk. Sean, if you want to join the conversation,
Thanks so much, Renuka.
And
I may be a person to talk, but I am no match for Mary.
I talk a lot, Sean, so it's
well,
okay.
No, I mean, I would grade you 10 out of 10, definitely. First of all, my apologies. I did join late, and I really was looking forward to getting the whole thing in. I only got the end of your introduction, so obviously I won't ask you to repeat the whole thing, not that you would anyway. But I love the energy. And what a great first impression people must be getting of the USA when you are their first impression. I did look at I'm not sure your website. I didn't examine every page, but it did scan through the surface material. I'm really interested in seeing how we could collaborate. We have a couple of things going on. It's effectively a platform for helping people bring change into local community. And the work you're doing in terms of the information, particularly around the SDGs, but it looks to me like everything you're doing is just something that we're not subject matter experts in pretty much anything. So we're really just trying to facilitate those who do and accelerate and support people who do. So I'll reach out and.
But I must say, Sean, you have that technical ability and the digital platform that we are trying to develop.
Yes.
True. I think Mary's resources could be quite a lot of resources for us to work
100%. Yeah, absolutely.
And while she was telling, I was thinking about that, and you put me a message, and I thought, oh, wow, that's a coincidence, and that's a very good coincidence.
Absolutely. And Mary, I'm sure Renuka has been telling you about the research, I guess, group and team that she's building. And it's a very highly leveraged way of bringing more and more people into more and more useful work, if that makes sense. And the better anchoring, the better grounding of that work, the better that can be built on a platform of pre-existing knowledge and established understandings, the less time is spent covering ground that has already been covered, basically.
Agreed. And I think that's where when I started looking through the videos that I had done, I'm like, wow, I forgot I did that one. Wow, I need to go back and talk to this guy. It is, especially when you hit those innovators who are out there working so hard to get their solutions move forward. You start to realize what's possible in areas you had no idea there were being
anything. Even exists.
That would even move close to solving that problem. So they're out there.
Yeah.
And it's amazing to see that, because then the people that are a little bit younger, maybe have a little more education, you're not going to be the end all no matter what you decide you're going to do. But there's somebody else out there that can take what you did and move it a little further along, or put it in a different place.
Yeah.
It makes a bigger difference. So I agree.
That is what we need at the moment, right? Because we have plenty of, now resources in the way we can say, like, we are technically capable, we are socially also, we know many things, and I think the mindset also has been changed. Like overall, we can see the change and people acceptance of this challenge of climate change and readiness to address it. So many things are favorable at the moment, but the only thing is that everything is segregated in its own context, and it lies with people who do not have opportunity to collaborate or are not taking it out of the box. I mean, it is still in closed tin with them. And I think this is what is facilitating your program, and our network program and so on are doing that job. And we must provide this opportunity for people to collaborate. Yeah.
Agreed. I mean, from the standpoint of just the archive of videos that I have, that's a great opportunity. And I've just got a message from Osita, who's still in a blind area, but so he apologizes for that. But the classes that he has put together are not just for the Sub-Saharan Open University. That's global. He draws globally, but the content that he has also in our global governance, to me, that is where we have an opportunity to create better leaders. And especially in areas which it's so badly needed. It makes it so hard to do business or to create solutions in countries where you've got to navigate around and past some of the, I'm just going to say corruption, and some of the, or maybe just they're overwhelmed, the areas where the leaders are just overwhelmed and don't have the skill set to kind of manage some of the debt load that they're carrying or something else that's going on. So it's really difficult. So if we can help build that capacity there, that would be awesome. I'm looking forward to partnering with anybody on
Fabulous. And if I can pick up,
I speak for Osita too, him too.
Yeah, if I can pick up on that exact point, Mary, one of the I think ethical, I mean, so everybody has a bit of a moral responsibility to do what they can in the circumstances we're in, and I won't belabor that point. But one of the moral, I guess, imperatives is there are immense sums of money being made available to help make change. The US obviously has its own funding in a European context and in an EU context, which is applicable in my case. The EU is spending something like 2 trillion in, bringing last year through to 2027. All of it connected in some way to sustainability. And when money like that is being spent, it is such a crime to think of it not being used well. Mm-hmm. And you phrase it really well a moment just there when you said, it's not true ill will, it's just true inadequacy, true incompetence. Nobody knows everything. And I think crowd wisdom is needed, and that's exactly, I mean, Renuka is coming from that point of view, and your point about sharing information. It's, let's do a Wikipedia on it, so to speak, and let's do a kind of okay, folks, you've got to solve all of these problems, you've got all of these resources, let's see what can be done. And and it's not like there's no levers there to pull. It's just, we need to know which ones to pull and what sequence.
Agreed.
Okay, Mary, I also wondered, still because Osita is not here, and would you have any idea how the university works? Because I heard from Osita it is a distance learning university. It's
virtual, yeah.
Virtual, yeah. So if you know anything about it, please tell us.
Yeah, I mean, it's just it's virtual, it's website based, and it is accredited, and so the process is they go through the different classes that come out with their certification. There is, we've worked off and on some mentoring components, and we'll probably continue doing that. It is really tough to find that happy place with mentoring. We've worked on that 2 or 3 times. I did a girls mentoring program last year where I personally mentored like 5 girls from around the world, and we ended up doing some projects together just so I could have them understand how to work together across continents, that kind of thing. And so it is very time consuming, but it's so worth it to do that. So we do involve that. We're getting ready to partner with another organization that has a really interesting approach to creativity and working with youth to expand on their talents. One of the things that I found out in mentoring one of the girls that I mentor is that sometimes there, especially with girls, there's a parental direction that gets involved, and there's no swaying, no matter what the talent seems to be. It just is what it is, and it's really hard to get past that cultural mindset and how things are supposed to roll out. So I think that learning how to navigate some of those cultural, norms, if you want to call it that, family norms, is going to be really intriguing to do. But more and more, we are creating partnerships from the SSOU, that's the Sub-Saharan Open University, out and around into very strategic areas to try to help formulate this idea of moving more towards creative leadership and creative education, and moving that talent into the right place so that it can be applied in the right way. So literally just an open university with a lot of partnerships that can serve the people that go through it. And, we say youth. In the United States, we might say you're not young anymore when you hit 19 years old, right? Well, in other areas, you could be 30 or 40 and still be young. And that's the way it is.
Well, in UK, maybe you, even if you're at 70 or 80, you are young.
I literally next week will turn 65 years old, but in the Sub-Saharan Open University world of things, I might still be 30. I don't know, but youth is a concept or a construct or whatever. So, so it's so we work along with the a lot of the entrepreneurship and youth development programs and create those leadership pathways along with the education. But it's heavy on entrepreneurship. We want job creators as much as we want job seekers at this point.
Yes, thank you very much. I think
if
finally,
I may, I'd like to join the conversation.
Yes, please. You are welcome.
It was announced for 3 p.m. GMT, which is precisely right now in Melbourne, Australia.
All
so
right.
Obviously, it has started 1 hour earlier, and therefore I am very happy that I was smart enough to start it, say, an hour in advance. And from what I did here, I want to bridge what Sean did mention, that plenty of money are dedicated to achieving SDGs. And by the way, Mary, a week ago, I did have a talk precisely on this network, which was about this, how to find the proper solutions for achieving SDGs. And within this talk, they say that World Bank report estimates $5 up to $7 trillion dollars per year are needed to achieve SDGs globally. And within the businesses, I'm sure all of you know very well that they are pushing for applying ESG, environmental, social, and governance approach, in order to decide how to allocate financial resources. And S&P Global, they did publish a report 5 months ago that we see plenty of E, but much less of S when businesses are doing something. And I did explain in this presentation last week why it is so and how it should be fixed. And probably you can see that behind me, there is a picture of all SDGs, and in the middle is 3, health. Mm-hmm. So back in March 2016, I did point out that no matter whether decision makers, investors, policymakers realize it or not, any policy or investment will have impact, social impact. And this social impact is differential, meaning different groups of the population are affected differently. And then at the end, all those social impacts ultimately are health impacts, impacts on health of population. And health should not be confused with healthcare. Health is much broader concept, which includes not only physical, but also mental, emotional, social, economic, and even financial well-being. So when there are laws in physics which explain causality, meaning a relationship between cause and effect when addressing E, the environmental, like for example, improving efficiency, factories replace mercury vapor 400 watt with LED 100 watt, immediately they see the result, which is direct, immediate, positive, intended, and very easily quantifiable, and also very easily can be monetized. While in S,
Jordan, can I
Yeah.
stop you? Because Mary has to leave by 4 o'clock.
okay.
So can you
I'm so
just
sorry, but yeah, let me just say this, Jordan, I am interested in talking. I just saw your message right there. Please, I'm gonna, just for anybody that wants to know, it's mary@marykurek.com, Kurek. Jordan, please connect with me. Let's have a private conversation when you get a chance. I'd love to continue this conversation with you, and you too, Sean. And if there's anybody else out there that would like to have another conversation, I'd love to. I'm sorry, I've got somebody waiting for an interview right now, so I'm going to go grab her. But Osita, Dr. Anamika, if you're still on and if you're able to communicate and step up further and have more conversation, he's my sort of partner, Jordan, and so he can kind of take up where I leave off. But Reniko, thank you so much, and
thank
everybody.
you so much, Mary, for coming
so much,
here
Mary.
and sharing your experience with us. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I
Bye-bye.
appreciate it.
All the
Bye-bye.
best. Bye. We'll be in touch, Mary.
So thank you, Jordan. It is
Thanks
just
a lot.
that she has to go for her another
Okay,
interview.
okay. I had no idea that it was moved 1 hour in advance.
No, that we didn't move. It is just because of the summertime. It shows wrong in your calendar or on the, you have to always look into website.
I am going to Google, asking Google what is time now, GMT, and they are showing me 3 o'clock is now.
Yeah, but sometimes
Okay,
it
then
happens,
anyway.
but it is due to summertime. I have started exactly at 3, not earlier. I do give a notice if I start earlier. So anyway, we can.
Thanks a lot, and we'll move forward.
Yeah. Also, while I put the invite out, I have your time. So if you can click on that, your time.
No, that's okay. That's okay.
You the right time. Anyway, so yes, we have some time, and so I would like to. Yeah. Do you want to?
Can I use the opportunity, because I can see that Spiro is also here. Hello, Spiro. Maybe, Renuka, we can very briefly discuss what you have suggested last week, that we should coordinate and collaborate on a paper regarding sustainability concept.
Yes, but Spiro is going to give us a furthermore explanation on his definition. So he's ready to explain us more on.
Yes, that was my point. Somebody of 3 of us, so it should be Spiro, or he should put a suggestion of the main points which should be clarified and sorted out, so that we can put our contribution in it, or we will say, no, we think that there are other points which should be included, and so on. So my point is, I will leave it to you to coordinate that flow of information and the process in order to move forward.
Sure, I will do that.
Okay, thanks a lot.
Thank you very much. So let me just share my PowerPoint. Okay. And now I welcome Spiro to continue with his sustainability definition today. So welcome, Spiro. I will share your slides and you can speak. Hello, Spiro, are you there? Hello?
Hello?
Yeah,
Yes, Dr. Nuka.
can you see the screen?
I lost the connection for a while and I didn't follow you.
Okay, can you see the screen now?
Yes, I do.
Okay, please, should I go from the first slide?
Yes, yes, please. This is the previous presentation that I did.
No, it is the same one.
Oh,
Like not the same one. I have kept only 1 or 2 slides which were same, but I can go here, see.
okay, okay, okay.
Where do you want to start?
From the beginning,
Okay.
please. Yeah, as we talked before, the concept of sustainability, it is very, very important, and we get to explain it mathematically in the language of mathematics. Otherwise, we can't communicate and understand each other. Based in my philosophy, which I am working for a long time, I can say that it's more than 4 decades. The concept of sustainability philosophically in the language is change time ratio. So this is mathematically is sustainability equal change divided by time. I'm trying to connect with you guys in the video, but I don't know why I can't do that. So I'm going to keep going.
Yes, we can't see you.
Do you see me?
No.
Yeah, but I don't know for what reason I can't connect.
Okay, what will I do? I can stop sharing and like for a while you can disconnect and then reconnect and come back. Is that possible?
I'm trying to do that for a couple times, but it didn't work. So I'm sorry, we can just explain and communicate with you guys by just talking and explaining those slides.
Okay, because you have not still started, can I stop you for a minute here? Because here Professor Amar is here and I would like to give him a floor to announce his program, and then we can continue with your talk.
That's fine.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So I will just go back the slides and yes, I would like to invite Dr. Amar Nayak, Professor of Strategic Management and Chairperson, Center for Sustainable Ecological Systems. from Xavier Institute of Management, Bhubaneswar, India. So thank you very much for being with us. And can you please announce your program? Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Renuka. It's been a privilege to know about your wonderful work and the wonderful network that's working on this important theme. This is, of course, I have spent maybe over about 2 decades on, or 3 decades, I can say, if I include strategy and transition strategy, sustainability. And what we are doing in this conference is moving beyond what you call the sustainability principles to regenerative principles. So as I understand, sustainability would treat, it basically goes into the principles of all entities being equal, not only the Anthropocene, the human beings, but also other living systems. So that's how social, economic, and environment come into the play in basic principles. However, of course, integrating these 3 are very challenging because it's always anthropocentric or human being centric. And therefore, the environment plays a role to fulfill human needs. And to that extent, practice is a little off from the philosophical foundation of sustainability. But this conference on regenerative ecosystems goes a little beyond that to basically say that how can we create ecosystems which are not just sustainable, but they regenerate and flourish. The Socratic idea of flourishing. How can we flourish with time and not just sustain at one level? So, so this focus is on not just ecosystem in general, but we're looking at different types of ecosystems, whether it is an industrial ecosystem that we are all in, or most of us are in. We're also looking at urban ecosystems. We're also looking at rural ecosystems. We're also looking at indigenous ecosystems. And of course, the natural ecosystems is the basic foundation. So scholars will contribute on any of these ecosystems. And thank you, Dr. Renuka, you put it out so clearly there. It's all there in the brochure. Which has a lot of information, and I won't take much time. I must thank all of you for being here to hear about this symposium that you're planning. There are expert committee members from across the globe, and there's a lot of inputs coming from different scholars from around the world. We have also done a lot of field work, and therefore it is backed up with this understanding. And one of the important presentations that I had today evening, in fact, that's why I got a little late by about 5 minutes, is relating to these regenerative ecosystems, which was about the argument that we are able to place today and provide empirical evidences. We can, for instance, provide water to everyone on Earth in any place if it has at least around 40 centimeters of rainfall. So it's a beautiful science. We have demonstrated that in India, 4 different locations, and we are able to get water. And water, irrespective of the climate change patterns, if it rains heavy or low or whatever it happens, it really doesn't matter much. It can rain anytime it wants to rain, but we can have food production throughout the year. And we have lots of water to back that up. And once we have water, then soil comes in play, the ecosystems or the ecology comes in play, the diversity comes in play, and of course, we need to be careful about the stability of genetic material that we're using, genetic material that which can regenerate. So this is just relating to agriculture, but the same logic can be applied to almost all sectors, and we're putting that in the industrial clusters and so on. But the details are there in the brochure, and there are also short videos explaining how one can develop the paper, and also a video on what are the benefits that one can get being part of this symposium, and details about how to write your paper. All that is there in this link. So once again, thank you, Dr. Renuka and all colleagues here. I wish to be part of your network and learn from all of you and share with each other to enhance this understanding of the subject of sustainability, and if we can move to create regenerative ecosystems. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Professor Amar. Yes, so what you are looking at the screen, we have this video, and if you click on here, it will lead you to the link, which I have done, and archives are here to show you how you have to write the old papers, and so you will get an idea of what it contains. And this will also lead you to call for papers and cases, the second block here. And what I am very much excited about this symposium, that because of our international spread out in the world, I spoke to Amar and said that it is not possible for all of us to physically attend your symposium, just because of time, resources, whatsoever. And they have generously provided us an event where we can engage online. And so they are going to get that provision for us, that we can create our own session, or they will create a session and we can do online presentation, and they will be sharing this all information with everyone. So I'm very, very grateful to make this arrangement for us. And so we will get in touch with you certainly, and anyone who is interested, please get in touch with directly to Professor Amar. And Professor Amar, if you want to write down your details in the chat, that would be highly appreciated. Thank you very much for being with us here today. So now I will invite.
Just one clarification: the symposium brochure still shows the original deadline for abstract and full paper, but we had recently, after I had a discussion with Dr. Renuka, we had the expert committee meeting, and these times have been extended. So abstract submission is now till 15th of July, and full papers till 30th of September. So this will anyway update in the call for papers brochure, and we'll put it up. But at the moment, it will be showing the old dates. So don't worry about the dates shown there.
Yes, thank you very much. Thank you. So yes, now I will welcome Spiro. Yeah, do you have any questions? Sorry.
No, that's okay. I was going to ask when Spiro will continue.
Yes, that's what I'm inviting now.
Okay.
Okay. So just bear with me. I will find Spiro. I think I have lost Spiro. Let me check. Yes, we have lost Spiro for a while. If anyone has something to share, I'm happy to listen.
I am just very grateful to Professor Amar and really enjoyed very well, and will love if he share some contact details and be a connection with him. Really very grateful to you and Professor Amar as well. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Abdul. I know you are very enthusiastic about this all. and you have plenty of things to share. And so how good this platform would be for you, right?
Thank you.
Yes. Okay.
Hello, I have a small thought which I am trying to implement.
Yes, please share.
So actually, I'm trying to, there is an event happening in waste management in 13 to 15 July. And I was asked to put a stall, you know, just because the waste management event in Greater Noida. So I have suggested them, why don't we go for a zero waste event? Because
perfect.
Many events are happening in India and they do these water bottles, you know, that posters will be kept, which they will be removing it up and throwing it, and the food. So I actually suggested you know, couple of scenarios how it is a journey. It cannot be, the first event cannot be zero waste, but you know, there could be a journey where we could take it. So I'm in discussion with them, and let's see if it works. So any suggestions from the panel, you know, what if you have attended any event and you could suggest that something, one thing which really you know, you striked you could share, and while we are waiting, you know.
Okay, I will give others chance and then I will bang on. Anyone here?
I'd like to ask something, Chief. Hi, Chief.
Hi, Jordan.
Okay, so I would like to ask you what kind of different groups from the population you will be targeting with your app.
Yeah,
will
Jordan,
it be
I think,
for all population, from the poorest person to the wealthiest person, or will you, your app will be targeted what kind of people?
7.8 billion people.
The all of the population of the earth.
5 years time, my target, you know, but you know, when I go to investor, I don't say this answer, because for the investor, if I say this answer, he tells you are not capable, you are not eligible for funding. So as a MVP, my target customers are in Delhi NCR, people who understand sustainability, you know, as a MVP. But the product what I'm building is any individual in his daily life, he is doing something good for Mother Earth. He is not aware of it. There are maybe a village in India, he is recycling water, or he's recycling the waste food he's leaving at his house, which is actually happening in India. But he doesn't know that he is saving, you know, the food for somebody else in US or for somebody else in Australia. So every citizen is doing something good. My role is to enable technology to capture that information and give him reward.
What kind of reward?
So this is a, you know, question where there would be my application. There is a part of waste which I buy and sell, trade. So that is dollar to dollar or rupee to rupee. Whereas the virtual reward, which I'm giving points, would be in future, it would be related to something with blockchain technology, something which would be currency, you know, cryptocurrency sort of thing. I am actually in London and I was attending the London Tech Week 2 days back, and a lot of new, you know, the technology is being implemented. So I would, but it was from day one when I started this company, I was very clear, after 3 years or 4th year, we will have our own cryptocurrency and these coins will be used in our application.
Okay. So let's say, hypothetically, somebody is taking shower once a week, cold shower, and he is not using hot water, energy, and he is responsible for much less emissions from this. And you are rewarding him somehow. And there is another one who is taking the big jet, private jet, to travel here and there. like for example, the Prime Minister of Bulgaria recently, a week ago, took the presidential plane to go to Thessaloniki in Greece for officially a meeting of the Balkan states, which he did not attend. And he was there with the chief of staff, a young, nice lady, and they are spending time together. And the government plane is flying only for two of them. So how you will put this into the app?
Yeah, excellent. You know, as the MVP is being built, I will give a very good example. You know, the example you gave for me, the guy who has wasted the money, who took so much carbon emissions going in a flight and wasting, would get -1 million points.
So you will put negative points.
Negative points. So the example I will give you, what I am trying to do, but maybe negative might not be good for application. That would be decided as we go out. So the example I would give, let me take, I have a car, and you know, I have a Honda Accord car, and I'm traveling, you know, from Delhi 20 kilometers to my office. I have this option. The second option I have is I go in a Uber or Ola. Okay, I take a pool car option. Third is I take a carpooling. I have my 4 office mates who are on the way. We all go together. We could do that. Or I take a metro. Or I take a bicycle to my office. Or I walk to my office. So there are 6 scenarios what can happen when I'm going to my office. So walking might be a very absurd, you know, answer. But let us say, you know, the other examples where he's bicycling. So I would be using geotagging in his bike and see that, yes, he is doing an average of 10 kilometers per hour, reaching the distance of 20 kilometers in a X amount of time. So I ensure that he's bicycling and he's a true person who is showing me that. So he gets certain amount of points, which will be more than the person who is using carpooling. Suppose it is 100, then the carpooling would be 50, Uber, Ola would be 20, own car, you know, would be -10, or it will be 0. So this is the way I'm thinking yet, along with my co-founders, how to do it. What is the mechanism of?
In a way, you are putting a price by points on the carbon emissions which anybody is generating during his or her daily life, correct?
Yeah.
Something like this.
Yes.
Okay, let me put a note. Price.
So,
regarding your
Shiva,
example.
Okay, go on, please.
Regarding the example of Shiv, there is a joke from Bulgaria, which is absolutely about the same thing, and it is very ancient one. So there is a city in Bulgaria where they are famous, like the people in Scotland, very tight on expenditures. You know, in Scotland, they want to spend as little money as possible. And there was a case when somebody was driving a rented car backwards in order to reverse the mileage of the rented car. But the joke from Bulgaria is the following. A boy from this city in Bulgaria, which is very similar to the Scotland, people are trying to save from everything. So he comes back from school and says to his father, Daddy, I did save 50 cents. And the father is asking, how did you do that? I was running after the bus. I did not purchase a ticket. I was running after the bus and I did save 50 cents. And he hoped that he will be rewarded from his father. And his father told him, oh, next time you should run after a taxi, a cab. You will save 15 bucks, not 50 cents.
Okay, Jordan, can I stop now? Because we have Ciro here.
Yes.
And thank you, Shiva, for telling your ideas, sharing your idea. And I have put a document here for you to see what aspects you can cover. So maybe you can do 1, 2, 3. There are 16 aspects here which you can cover for a sustainable event. For example, like as you said, ticketing, purchasing, food, drinks, and many other things. So just try to understand and have a go for at least 5 or 6, which might be possible for you now. And that is a brilliant idea. You can liaise with anyone if you want, and especially with me. And this person who has created this sustainability event guideline is one of our coordinator. So if you wish to talk to him, please get in touch with me, and you can get in touch with him as well. Okay, so thank you for sharing that idea. And I will now share the PowerPoint of Spiro and welcome him to speak. Okay, Spiro, please take the floor. Can you see this slide? Yes, Spiro is here. Hello, Spiro. You are muted. You have, please unmute yourself. Okay. I think here he is. Yes, he's connecting to the audio. No. Can you speak, Spiro, now? I think you are speaking, but we can't hear you. Hello, can you speak? Can you hear us? Okay. I think it is not possible today. So I will just go to the last. We can hear him next week, next time. And so I think I will finish the workshop today. So let's all swim high in the sky beyond through this network. And thank you all for having me here and for connecting today on this platform. So I will stop the share.